What's up? What's up, crypto nations? How are y'all doing this not so beautiful here in Austin, Texas? Been kind of crappy weather, but it is the weekend. This is No Noise. I am Z-Rex, your host, walking you through this lovely crypto TA session we're about to have here. Lovely, lovely indeed. Just billions getting chopped off the market cap, it seems, every day. Please don't jump out of your windows or anything. I know a lot of people are freaking out. A lot of the YouTubers or other YouTubers are talking about they need to find different revenue streams and etc. I saw even one pump a stable coin BitConnect type. It reminded me of BitConnect. Of course, it didn't have like 1% a day, so I mean, to be fair, but still, it's like lock up your money in this other coin to get 8% a year, and hopefully that coin doesn't go down by like, 90% in that same year. So, yeah, pretty interesting. This move has definitely got some people to rethink their hodl cult, I think. Alright, well, enough of my opinion on that. Let's just jump right into the markets. Bitcoin dominance here, 55% almost. Maintaining that low 50s. It has been for, oh man, I want to say months now. Kind of teetering between that 51, 55. I still believe it will maintain that until the market turns back around at some point. Because, you're going to put your money in Mama Bear if you're going to jump into this. And of course, that's the safest one. You can put your money wherever you want, but I think it's a little bit tougher to throw your money in like a coin that's down 98%, which is most of the altcoins. All right, here is the total market cap, which we like to start off with. As you can see, it's just been trending down the last 9 months here. If we zoom out to kind of the last year, we're just at super low levels here. We're teetering right on, right below 110 billion, so not looking real healthy. Not really a surprise, though. We do have massive momentum to the downside, so I'm not seeing too many signs of it pulling back yet. There is one coin, though, that is performing a little different than you probably would imagine in this type of market, and we'll go talk about that here in a second. Here you go, the top dogs. Ripple is smashing Ethereum now on market cap. Sometimes I wonder if Ripple is now number 2 and Ethereum. It's probably going to be really hard for Ethereum to come back from that and regain number 2 spot. I mean, even look at Bitcoin, it's below $60 billion market cap. I guarantee you, if you bet anyone even 3 months ago that would happen, you'd probably make some pretty good money. So if you look over here from all-time highs down, Bitcoin is down in the 80s, low 80s, getting murdered. Not as bad as Bitcoin Cash, 97, or Ethereum, 94. Oof. Ethereum used to be like $1,400. I know, it's even crazy to say that out loud. But if you go down here on the all-time highs, I mean, we're pretty much all 90s, just as I was saying a minute ago, 95, 90, 98, 97. Yeah, it's brutal out there. A lot of blood. Tezos looks like in the last day has been kicking some ass, but still down in the last week, though. Like I said, I'm not really seeing that much strength yet, except let's go ahead and just go to it. This one coin, the Dogecoin. I know you're probably like, who cares about Dogecoin? Well, I actually kind of do. It's been around for a long time. You can see it goes all the way back over here to March 2014. I mean, arguably it's one of the first altcoins that existed. So as you can see here, let's take off the, let's just look at price. As you can see here, Doge has been ramping up pretty well since mid-November. It's up about 40%. And just to give context around that, in mid-November, Bitcoin, since the same time, is down 50% almost. So that's pretty damn interesting. I'm not sure if it means anything. It's hard to extrapolate from Doge, but I think Doge is solidified in the crypto community, like pretty hardcore. And you know, this might be saying something. There might be some strength coming into the market. I don't know. I'm not getting too excited about it. We have seen it pump in the middle of markets right here just to get totally wrecked right after. But definitely noteworthy, especially if it continues to hold, you know, like mid 50s. And this is a daily time frame, and we are above all the exponentials now, with even the 21 exponential starting to point towards the upside. So yeah, pretty interesting there. That's probably the only coin that's performing any good. All right, let's go talk about the shorts thing real quick, because everybody is talking about it, and that's not why I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it because I don't think everybody's talking about it in the right way. First of all, I don't really think that this matters, because you don't know the positions that other people have on the other sides of these trades. And you know, most retail traders aren't even shorting, period. So I'm not really sure if you can extrapolate any, you know, edge from this chart. I don't really believe that you can. And maybe for a second I did, but when this happened right here from October 30th, this just super dump. Let me draw a little bit. This just super dump. Let's make this a little brighter so you can see that. Yeah, this super dump right here. Price action wasn't even moving. It was flat this whole time. And then it finally started selling off, and then that's when this came in. So $200 range, price did nothing. Shorts just dumping out of nowhere, like price is rallying to the moon. But, you know, I don't know, kind of weird. Not really sure. So I was saying I kind of don't look at it. But what I did want to bring this up for everybody is everyone is saying all-time highs, man. Psh, can't go higher, man. This is it. This is the bottom of the move. Well, that's not entirely true, because you can't use these same highs here and here and here and here. Let's go ahead and go to the big screen real quick. All right, there we go. I think it's unfair to use these highs here, here, and here, and over here, all these clusters, because Bitcoin price around, you know, these tops. Let me get my little drawing tool. Around these tops here and here and here and here, I mean, you're talking an average of around, you know, 6K or something, or 6,500, right? So you have this shorting up here is a lot different than shorting over here, because now price in this range is only 3,400, right? So shorting this many coins at 3,400 on a dollar notional level is a lot different than shorting this many coins here. It's like notionally almost half, right? And notional just means the total value of the contract. So if you short one Bitcoin, it's like 6,000, you have $6,000, you know, at risk. If you short one Bitcoin at 3,400, then, you know, you have, you know, you're putting in that 3,400. So it's kind of like, you know, if this keeps going up, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's in the upper range and it can't go any higher. That is total BS. Because think about it, it actually could go double what these highs were if Bitcoin continues to stay in this price range, just given people hedging USD amounts. You know, most people are looking at their portfolio in dollars because that's easily spendable. Now, that could change in the future, but that's easily spendable, and they're not really looking at Bitcoin. Maybe some of the more enthusiasts are. I myself, in certain accounts, I do like to try to just increase my Satoshi level, but you also have to be aware of that dollar component. So I don't think it's fair just to kind of over here, oh, we're at all-time high shorts. Well, yeah, but the pricing structure is very different. Even back over here in April, it was, you know, like 7, 8 grand. And so, like, you know, we've been in this kind of $2,000 range this whole time, and now we're way below that. So, you know, shorts can still run pretty hard here. So keep that in mind. Just wanted to mention that real quick. Enough about that stupid graph. Again, price is king, guys. Y'all know that. I say that all the time. That's all you really need to look at. So speaking of price being king, let's go to Mama Bear on the daily. Last video we made was a few days ago, around here when it was about to break down, and we were discussing if we get this daily below, or any 4 hour and up closing below a 3600 level, that is going to be pretty much immediate death. And we got one little fake out pump right up to that 42, got rejected with the spinning candle, spinning top right here. You can see that guy, this green one, and it's been ugly ever since. If we zoom in a little bit, let's bring up internals too, you can see even in these pumps, even on the last one, on the 4th when we made that last video, look at this price getting rejected consistently under the 21 on the 4 hour. I mean, that was your sign. Price couldn't even get above that. The bears are in full control right now. And I know people don't want to hear that. I want to be bullish. I don't want to just be bearish. You know, I got into a little debate with my buddy the other day. He's like, "Oh, you're so bearish. It's time to get bullish." Well, if you would have said that, I've been bearish since, you know, since we broke 5,500. So, you know, there's just nothing technically saying that price is not sitting here telling you that we're outside of bear country yet. Look at this, even struggling to get above the 55, which is this orange exponential, and then it created kind of this trend line resistance. I mean, look at this, weak attempts. Every time it poked its head out, and we talked about this a little bit on the last video, which was right here when we did that. When price poked out here, immediately just got rejected by big candles right after the fact. I mean, like the next one, or the next two on both attempts. So that is very weak price action, and then ultimately getting back under the 21. Since that video we made over here, it's just being rejected every time. So not really looking all that hot still to me. If we zoom in on the hourly, you can see we did get an attempt to go to the 55 exponential on this little crazy pump that, you know, was about, what was it, 300 bucks out of nowhere. And most of this was in, you know, like 5-10 minutes. I was actually sitting on my computer when I saw that. I was like, man, what the hell? Maybe I'm gonna take off some of my speculative shorts down here, which I did, which I've talked about. Like, I hedged my current portfolio 100% just because when we got below 5,500, being in complete bear territory. But when it breaks critical levels, like when it broke 42, I'll add speculative shorts. When it broke 36, I added some, and even when it broke right around here too, I added some. But yeah, a lot of those I've taken off. The speculative side, actually, I think all of them I took off last night, just because we're getting in this kind of sideways zone. If you look on the hourly, we're in the neutral zone. Bears still do have the advantage, the edge, I would argue. But you know, when you get into these lower ranges and you hit your target areas for a profit, and that's what you were targeting, and you get it, you need to manage your winners. You know, you got to take that money and put it, you know, in your pocket, so to speak. You know, you don't have to literally take it out of the trading markets, but you got to close the position or hedge it off, buy some futures against it, you know, use options. I know most people aren't going to know about options, but anyway, you know, take the gains off the table. So many times you will get gains and then you just give them all back up because you got greedy, and like this happened. Let's say you bought like here, and then you're like, no, it's not gonna break from here. This is the new low, 3,300, and then it does, and you're freaking out, and you're like, no, just hodl, bro. And then this happens, and then you feel genius because you got long, right? But then now you're just back to flat. And the way this price action is acting right here on the hourly, continually now getting rejected from the 21 exponential. This does not look good, guys. This looks like we're probably going to break and do another test lower. I would not be surprised to see a quick move this coming week down to like high 2000s. Yeah, and again, like I've said many times in these videos, if you don't want to get super technical and don't want to use all this stuff down here, you literally can just look at price and a 55 and 21 exponential. That's this yellow and orange one, and that'll give you a pretty damn good idea of the general direction. Now, we are very extended on the daily on the 21 exponential, but we were right here too, right? Got a nice hard pump into kind of close to it, immediately got rejected. So, you know, we could see some type of pump like that up into this trend line, and that's why I took off some of my speculative shorts. The measured move and the targets were hit, so you got to manage. One thing my friend always told me was you can just buy back in. You can close the position, and if you want to get back in, you just click a couple buttons and you're back in. So it's not like hard to do. Don't let your emotions control your risk management. So yeah, what I'm kind of hoping is maybe we can get a little pop that I can short back into, you know, possibly up into this consolidation range here, and banging up into this trend line. And ultimately, you know, the first step will be the 55 exponential, which is currently sitting at around 37.5. So that's kind of what I'm looking for here. And if not, if I don't get that, that's fine. I'm not going to be mad. But if it breaks this level, that's like my first warning sign, this 3,300 area. And then ultimately, if it breaks 3,200, I will be reloading shorts no matter what, even if it doesn't bounce back up to here. But you do have to manage your risk. You can't just hold and hope that, you know, I don't know what the hell you think, the market gods are just going to give you money. That is not what they like to do. Still on the DMI too, look at this, we are in the forgotten zone on the bulls, still on the daily. Now we could be setting up for divergence on the DMI, but the problem is we're already breaking this kind of trend on the RSI. So it's close, and this line is actually, to be fair, let me go back to that. To be fair, maybe I can go back to it. To be fair, this line is actually drawn from a 4-hour. So if we did kind of adjust it for the daily, you can see that it's actually kind of right on it. So that's not the worst sign. We could be printing some divergence, but hey, we can't just draw whatever the hell we want on here. Like, I guarantee you there's someone on the Twitters right now that's calling this an inverted head and shoulders already, because they're like, oh, see, look. But that's like barely half the pattern. You need like all this. You don't even need to talk about patterns until they're like pretty much completed, because no one knows shit and you're not going to be able to predict price. That is a fool's game, that's for sure. That is how you go broke real fast. On the daily, something interesting though is it looks like we're getting this blue dot is finally printing underneath price action, and we had that a little bit right here. But it's starting to come out a little bit again, so that's noteworthy. Again, I'm leaning bearish still because that's what price action is telling me, especially on the hourly. I thought we might be able to get above this, but it just kept getting rejected. So price is telling us bears are kangs right now. And once if this DMI, I should say, not once, because I don't know shit, but if this DMI gets back up in here in the power zone, yeah, watch the hell out. 852, look at this weak attempt. Yeah, this is just really gnarly price action, y'all. So this is a no trade zone for me for initiating new trades. The risk to reward just sucks here. I mean, you're pretty much in this box. What is this, 32.50 to 34.50? I mean, it's $200 range. If you do want to trade, pretty much the only strategy I would use if I was forced to trade this is ranges, right? So I'd be shorting this upper part of this range and buying the lower part of this range and just trying to do some little scalpy scalp. But I'm looking for larger moves, and given volatility is a lot higher now, you get some trending moves, as we have been seeing, obviously. So I'm kind of, I'm going to wait for price action to break out either way. So, like I said a minute ago, I did take off the speculative hedges, because this is good support around here. Bounced fairly decently off the 32 with okay volume. And now everyone's probably thinking, oh, it's massive volume. Well, not really, because it's lower than almost all this volume over here. All right. And we did see a little spike like this before, and it just went sideways to continue falling off. So, and on the volume thing, you know, we're not, like, we have okay volume and it's looking pretty good, but it's still not as much volume as back over here when we started pumping, and it's definitely not near as much volume as we had in the capitulation moments of 2015, right? So or the start of the bull run in late 2015. So we're not in, I mean, look, here's this volume cluster down here. It's tiny. It's very tiny. Speaking of that, while I have this kind of scrolled out, if you're wondering what some capitulation will look like, it will look something along these lines. It could be some candles like this, where you get a massive candle come up off the wick at least 30-40%, and then have another one engulfing right after with massive volume. That's great. Super textbook, and it's super extended from the 21. That's pretty textbook there. Here's another one that almost looks the same. You didn't get the bounce from that initial candle, that 30% I was just kind of mentioning, but you did get it on the next one, and then you had follow through engulfing most of this previous candle, and you had it on very high volume relative to the last year or so. So also a good sign, and we can go back and see a lot of examples of this. Now the volume's not going to be as great back here just because, you know, there wasn't that many people playing in it, but here you go, big forced selling, and then engulfing price action right afterwards. Here's another one too. So we're looking for something along those lines. As you can see, we haven't had anything like that. We had an attempt right here. This was a legitimate attempt by the bulls, holding above 42, but spinning top doji here, which is indicative of indecision, right at critical resistance at that time and critical support at once. That was kind of your sign. Like, watch the hell out. All right, so again, not great price action here. This does not look very sexy by any means. And just kind of in the recent downturn, we've had a lot of these little pumps to get rejected. They made little inverted Bart heads. This one kind of had a little funky one, a little inverted spiky Bart head, Mohawk style. But yeah, you can see we had all these little pumps with good volume. You know, it's happened like 3-4 times. 1, 2, 3. There's 4 since we've been selling off from 43. So, and they were all on big volume too. So this might just be someone exiting their position, getting ready, or it could be scoopers too. You never know. That's the thing. You never know. Speculation is exactly that. You can just sit there forever and do some mental masturbation. But again, technicals are not telling you this is strong. RSI is back below 50 on the hourly, below the 21 neutral zone. I'm watching this hourly like a hawk, waiting for either the bears or the bulls to get into the power zone, or this price action to get above the 55, or just drop below 3,200. All right, let's go to Ethereum. See if Ethereum is giving us any clues. Oh God, Ethereum is actually giving us a clue right here. Yeah, this looks really bad. Point of control is this line here, this dash line, and that is from market profile. It's not called market profile on TradingView. It's called like volume VSRP or VPSR or something like that. There's only 3 different ones. You can only get those on Pro too. But anyway, yeah, this is major rejection. So this is hard for me to not just go ahead and short right here, because this engulfing hourly on this price action on the 21, this is not a great sign. And it's right also where the point of control is. And this hourly just did print though, so it's got 55 minutes left in it. So I can't get super excited, but if this 55, especially this next hourly candle, closes on the bottom part of this range, it's going to kind of confirm this move. And the bears are on their way to being in the power zone, while the bulls are going into the weak zone. So, yeah, Ethereum is not looking great. All the way back to 87 pretty much is about where it got caught this last time. I'm going to go ahead and throw me an alert on the bottom of these wicks at around $84. Just to give me a heads up. Sometimes you don't have to watch the computers all day, so you can go live life. Yeah, this is not looking good. If this was going to get saved, you could have just pulled an easy 618 on this, which is about $91, which also lines up with this point of control, and we're losing it. So I would say 90 bucks right now. Below that, very bad news for bulls. Let's go to a daily, see if we see anything. Yeah, firmly in control. RSI just getting demolished, staying below 30 this whole time, but it can't go lower. Can't go lower, man. It's oversold right here. Look, it's the lowest it's been forever. 18. Can't go lower. Do not use oversold and overbought. Those are the wrong terms, and I know people are going to probably want to talk shit about that and defend it because it says on Investopedia or insert, you know, place you look at here. But no, that's not what it means. It means it's just weak. Price action is weak. Bears are in control when it's below that, not that it's oversold, right? Okay. No, a lot of people misuse RSI. One thing that is decent though here, we are getting to the extended areas on a weekly, so I do like that. So I would love to see capitulation really happen here in the next this month. Let's call it just this month, December. I don't know if Santa Claus is going to be very nice to us this year in the crypto market, unless you're a bear and you're very short. Then you know you're probably doing all right, or you probably have been doing all right. All right, let's look at the daily Litecoin. Oof, weak, super weak. Jesus. Wow, Litecoin looks absolute like garbage. Wow. Charlie Lee was a smart guy selling at 300, wasn't he? He said it was going to go to like 30 too. Good job, Charlie. Good job. Wow, look at this dumping. We got some dumping action coming in the market since I've been making this, started this video. I'm going to go ahead and put an alert down here. 22 and some change on Litecoin. Yeah, this does not look good. Consistently getting rejected below the 21 exponential. Not only that, when you get a candle like this is called a shooting star. When you get a candle like this, especially closing right below it, I mean, this is the bear saying, nah, bitch. I'm in control right now. Go sit down and shut the hell up. I'm gonna be here for a while. So yeah, this is not looking great. Man, I hate TradingView just added this new thing where it extends the alert lines. Don't like it. All right, so they are battling here. It is noteworthy to say that they're battling up around the power zone, which is semi-rare. That means the force out of this move is gonna come real swift like. But look at this, hourly direct rejection off the 55. And same thing with kind of Bitcoin as we discussed earlier when we made the video around this time. You know, we get rejections over the 55. That is just real basic. That means there's no love for the bulls right now. Oh, there is one thing that I did want to show y'all. I forgot on the Bitcoin chart to be a little bit happier. Let me take off the, because all we need is price action. So I told y'all the other day, I added this gray line. It's a very long-term Fibonacci number, exponential. It's like 900 something. If you don't know Fibonacci, it's just a sequence of numbers. So you take like 0, 1, and then the next number in the sequence is you add the previous two numbers, and it works no matter what you put in there. It's really weird. It's a crazy ratio. But anyway, so this is a little higher one, around 1,000. And so I was just kind of playing around with it. And, you know, looking at previous times, you can see it's usually really far away from price action. But you can see here, we did breach it. And we did breach it with some force. And currently it's about high 30% off below that line. So the only other time that we can actually look, because it does take 900 data points or 1,000 data points to create, which means the first one we had is May 14. Safe to kind of say that it would have probably looked, you know, something, oh my gosh, something like that or along those lines. But regardless, one of the true bear markets, we did have it only breach it down here for a little bit, right? So, and it was about 45%. Stretched below this. So we're kind of getting into this like really extreme area. I wouldn't be surprised if we do kind of mimic this kind of sideways action and hover around this gray spot for a little bit. So that's just something I kind of noticed last night when I was just fanning through some charts and added this on here. Oh, one thing I wanted to add. The thing that does suck about this momentum is look at the 21 is way below it, and the 55 is about to cross below it. And if you compare that over here to 2015, a similar pattern happened. Massive momentum below it. And then the orange finally, the 55 finally got below it. And that was kind of about the end of the move, right? It stayed below it for a little while. But you can see this capitulation, and when we get that candle, what's going to be great about that is you can pull fib off of it from wherever the reaction high is, which in this case was all the way up here to about 300 from about 150, and you can pull a fib off of that, and you can pretty much use that as your line in the sand. And as you can see in this price action, let me zoom in a little bit. As you can see in this price action, 618 is right here, right where it came back and touched, you know, 3-4 different separate times before continuing in the massive bull run that your grandma talked about. So, yeah, do be aware. I'm just kind of giving y'all food for thought for, like, so y'all can kind of do this yourself too. This isn't, like, super hard. You don't need trade alerts. You don't need people to tell you what to do, because you won't make money in the long run doing that. You know, because plus you'll probably just mess the trade up emotionally anyway. But when you can kind of just see this and understand the risk parameters that you're putting yourself into a little bit better and be patient, then, you know, I think that it becomes very fruitful for you as a trader. But anyway, you can see that 618 smashed on there. And let's just, for shits and giggles, how much is a 618 percentage-wise off that gray line? About 20%, all right? Of course, past isn't indicative for the future, blah, 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 all that crap. But it is just a little bit noteworthy that we're seeing that. So, just something I'm kind of watching. But ultimately, I'm just watching for that massive capitulation dilly candle to the downside. All right, let's get back on track over here. Let's go to Ripple, because we left off with Litecoin, which looks absolutely terrible. Ripple, God, see, there's this stupid alert line again. I do not like that. I don't need to see that. I can see this little triangle. Yeah, death. Just as we were talking about breaking this level, we would get pretty fast moves to the downside, which we did. Yeah, on that last daily we got here, which is the last video, we had the next daily engulf all of this price action. That's a great sign of saying, hey, go sit down, bulls. You're being bitches right now. And that they were. Look at this. 4 hour, though, tells the sign of the weakness, just like it does on a lot of the coins here. Rejected at 55s and stumbling around the 21s with all the momentum to the downside. And on the 4 hour, XRP bears are in the power zone. On the 1 hour, though, still kind of neutral, so not too surprising. But yeah, there is some selling going on right now. Do be careful. Set your alerts and you know, hedge appropriately if you need to. But this is not looking very great. All right, let's go to, oh gosh, this one, guys. Oh my word. And I like Dan Larimer. I know that's against the grain, but holy shit balls. Let's just look at this on a daily. Oh, ouch. Oh. So in these videos, we were playing a lot of these little, this range back over here when it would get into the mid fours, 460 to 480 is what we talked about. Was a great support zone. For a long time, it was a great bounce play. We played lots of little bounces in there, or I did. I don't know what the hell y'all did, but like I said, I'm not trying to do trading alerts or any of that, but, you know, y'all listen to me and follow me, whatever, that's your business. But that's how I was playing it. And then as we were looking, too, look what happened over here. We get to this 460 level, the bottom of the range, which is right here, which we had been talking about for fucking months. And it just engulfs all of it. I mean, we go down from 460 all the way to about $4 in one daily candle, and it hasn't looked back since. Now, this one is taking it on the chin more so than other coins in the same time frame, about 15 days, this 2-week death period or 3-week death period. It's down nearly 70%. Can't go lower, man. It's not going to go lower. Yeah, what had happened was, it went a lot lower. Look at this RSI staying in the 20s ever since that break from that critical support zone of that 460 range. And when you get support broken like that with force and volume down here, I mean, that's it. I mean, that's... it's like, I don't know what more people want to see. I mean, price is telling you if you're long, you're wrong. So you need to change your position. It's okay to be wrong. It's part of the game. Think of it as the cost of doing business. You have to go buy materials. You have waste. I run a restaurant, so I'm going to have food waste, and that's just part of doing the business. You're going to take these losses. But when price action tells you that you're wrong, change the damn position or take it off and wait. But don't just sit there and, I mean, what are you gonna, like hodlers of EOS are down 70%, guys, in 3 weeks. Now you tell me if you can endure that emotional capital stress, because I bet that you can't. And that's, sorry, had to go close the door real quick. It was getting kind of cold. And that is not unique to me or anybody. That's just the game. That's the psychology of you know, of our brains. We're all pretty much wired the same. You know, it can't go lower, bro. RSI, this is a perfect time to buy it. One of the guys I like to watch a lot, I think I told you about him, Jason, is Crown. One of the only crypto dudes that knows what the shit he's talking about. In my opinion, anyway. And what the hell do I know? Same kind of patterns here. Hourly getting rejected. The one thing that EOS has not done that everything tried to do is when it was ramping up, even Bitcoin and I guess that would be around in this area. Even Bitcoin and the majors got over their 55 for a second. Not EOS. It struggled to even get over the 21. This has been absolute death. Yeah, ouch. Sucks for Larimer holders. And like I said, I do like his projects. I think BitShares is awesome. I think Steemit is awesome. EOS hasn't proven itself yet. They do have a lot of money. But we are coming over here at the support. That's interesting. I didn't notice that. About 160. Let's throw up volume profile just to see possibly what that looks like. Oh, gosh. All right, so that's interesting. All-time trading history of EOS. It's coming up on a fat profile node. I am not buying this. I have no intention to buy really anything long-term until we see some dailies cross back up over the 21 exponential, which it's going to take a long time for that to play out. Probably another month or so, unless we just get insane face rippers, which can happen in crypto. So I'm not putting that on the shelf or anything. But yeah, here you go. Point of control is about 94 cents. And we're right at the top of this box. So yeah, we'll probably breach into here, and maybe, just maybe, that might be a nice spot to look at some long positions on the EOS, if you like the EOS. All right, let's go to Monero. Oh God, Monero. Here it is. Jeez, there's that 40, low 40s level. Getting caught though a little bit. A lot of business here. What are we on? Bitfinex? Actually, let's go to Monero and Bittrex. We'll get a lot more data. There we go. Yeah, much better. So, let me zoom out all the way. Monero's been out since, you know, 2014, so let's get all that data. $11 is the longest term point of control with the top of this volume node at like 22. Nothing really. I mean, we are kind of in no man's land. And I'm not, you know, I don't just trade off volume profile. I just like to use it as kind of a where gaps might move fast with price. But again, right now I'm just mainly watching these shorter term exponentials. And as you can see, rejection, rejection, rejection. As soon as we get to the 21 on a 4 hour and almost any candle or any underlying in coin right now, rejection. And they ultimately will get rejected at the 55. And it's been that way since November, early November, mid-November. So there's no change in that. Don't try to buy falling knives, guys. I've done that before and I've lost a lot of money. Like way too much damn money. All right, let's go to Dash. Same thing. See, look at this weak volume. Everyone's like, oh, capitulation, capitulation, bro. What is this? It's nothing. Look at all this volume. Look at all this. We need some spikies. We need some spikies up here in like in this upper range of 200,000 on a Dash specifically, you know. Let's get one of those going. But as you can see here, we did I think Dash was the one that was like in the 30s. Had the longest point of control over there. But yeah, this is an ugly chart for sure, as most of them are. So these can easily come down and test these old highs from the last run. That is very much in the cards. I didn't think it would be as much in the cards until recently, but you know, that's a little too far away. That's, you know, $1,300 is still massive downside from here, so I'm not going to get too excited about that. All right, let's go to, let's see, what is it? XLM, because we haven't looked at XLM in a long time. Oh my gosh, wrecked. Absolutely murder fest. Jesus. Getting some good volume over here, kind of starting to, so that's an okay sign. It looks like it just hit this measured move too. This is definitely a little flag action. Might still have some more though, yeah. Yeah, all the way down to, oh man, 8 cents. Kind of does look like it's on its way there. Ouch, it's rough. It is rough. This market is, this is it. This is that capitulation, or that downside pressure that we've been looking for to shake out all those bullshit hands. And don't forget, if you think it can't go lower, Bitcoin was sub 1,000 last January. That's right. Alternative thinking, in my honest opinion, which crypto has the best, I'm assuming you meant, best design, best potential to succeed and be the dominant crypto? Well, I think that one's obvious right now. That would be Bitcoin at the moment. Just because it's history and it's security. It's never been hacked or anything. Yeah, exchanges have been hacked and other stuff, but the code hasn't been compromised. There was only one little hiccup way back in 2010. I can't remember what they called it, but it's quickly resolved, and ever since that, there hasn't, and nothing happened either from it. So I would say Bitcoin is going to be kind of the de facto. Think of it as like the special drawing rights, the SDR currency of the crypto world, kind of like the US dollar is, and the yuan, I guess, now. But yeah, I think it does, but, you know, I really like Ripple, too. I know people are going to hate that, but you know, when you work with all the banks and pilot with Amazon and you know, I mean, major companies, and they, you know, their CEO has a lot of swag to him, I feel like. It's just like, I think they're just set up pretty good. People are just still in the, it has to be decentralized, and there's only room for Bitcoin, and, you know, being James Jones-ish, and, or Jim Jones, I'm sorry. Jim's Jones, and just drinking all the Kool-Aid. There's going to be multiple chains that work together to provide all of this blockchain landscape that we need. It's not going to just be one, because you can send money for, even though Bitcoin's cheap, you can use other things like Doge, for example, is super cheap, or XLM and Ripple are very cheap. Litecoin's pretty damn cheap. So yeah, this is the beginning right now, though. I would have to say Bitcoin is dominant, and I do not think Ethereum is great. If you want to hear one that I don't has a great design, I don't think, I don't know, I don't understand. It's working so far, but you know, I don't really like Vitalik, and I don't really like having to learn new languages. That is why I like EOS a little bit, because it's like using Python and all the other languages everybody already knows to build pretty much what Ethereum is doing, but it's already proof of stake, which is funny. Everyone talks shit about proof of stake, but now Ethereum's like going to go to proof of stake eventually anyway. I don't know. It's kind of silly. People are very, very opinionated and don't want to break from what they think is correct. And hey, you know, we all fall into that, so I'm not special and don't do that. But all right. Before I keep rambling about that crap, let's go to regular equities. Holy shit. These are some insane patterns for equities. I mean, look at this candle. Spinny top, shooting star, weird, crazy hammer, massive sell-off, but inside of the tail. I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen a pattern like this. If there's any guys out there that trade a lot, please comment if you've ever seen something like this. I don't even, like, what the shit is this? Shooting star, smashy shooting, or I'm sorry, spinny top doji, shooting star doji, weird hammer, engulf just the tail of it. Crazy ass action. This market has been wild. Everything is just selling off. Bitcoin, equities, it's just absolute death spot. Except for Doge, which we just showed earlier. Doge is up 40% while most everything is crashing, so that's pretty wild. But yeah, markets not looking super great. My platform is missing a bar. I don't think so. I don't think it's missing a bar. It's not missing a bar. It's because there wasn't a trade on that day. That was for Mr. George Dubb, so there wasn't. That was a holiday, so that's why it's not there. But still looks damn crazy though. But good point. Fair enough. Alternative thinking. Let's see. Let's go back to the hourly and look at some stuff. Yeah, same thing though. Getting rejected from the 21, even the 55. Did have a nice pop though right here before it rolled over hardcore this last week. That was nasty. Very wild week with the middle of the day or middle of the week off for George Bush's funeral services, which is a regular thing. I was wondering if it was or not, and I don't care about politics, but yeah, that's a standard thing when a president dies to close the the trade markets. So it's not unique to because he's Republican or Democrat or something. I know a lot of people probably want to run with that, but hardly the case. It's just a respects things, guys. All right, anyway. We are getting divergence, though. Lots of divergence. Look at this. Massive daily divergence on the ES, which is looking pretty damn good. Once the bulls can get over here in the power zone, which they're damn close, this might look pretty good. But right now, we are sitting at the bottom of this range from the beginning of the year. Again, everyone's super bearish. I don't think we can even get bearish until we break like these lows over here, like hardcore bearish, which is about 25.70 or so. And really below 25.50, you'll be kind of the line in the sand, which at this time coincides well with this trend line, long-term trend line, this blue line coming up here. And let's see, let's look at it on a 3-day. Yes, I mean, just massive, just whipsaw. You know, this is, when VIX is above, you know, 17 for a long time, this is what you get, just trending moves. But if you're a trader, this is exactly what you want. You can make a lot of cashola here. You just have to be real swift with your positions. This isn't the time to hodl and buy and hold for 3 months or a year or whatever. This is the time to hold, get in, and when you make some money off of whatever you put in, take it off. Because it's likely to move another direction very quickly. But ES right here, I did get a little bit long on Friday with some put credit spreads, you know, something with some defined risk, just in case we do just blow through this. But, you know, when you just have a move that's so violent to the downside and is coming to the bottom of a range, I just feel like I have to do it. That's just, I can't leave my emotion in there. It's like, I don't really want to do it, but it makes sense, you know. Even if it's just a little pop off of it, you have to play the odds, right? All right, let's go to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ-ry. Dang. Yeah, same kind of pattern right here at the lows. Looks like the lows on NASDAQ are down here. About 6,300, which is another 5% from here, which, whew, geez. Could totally happen. Same divergence, though, on the... Oh, my gosh. Sometimes it's so hard to click on these. Same divergence forming. Let me extend this line out a little bit, just in case it keeps going. Same divergence on the daily, and it is proper divergence, getting back over here to 50 and stuff, making higher lows. So it is definitely proper divergence. I'll be really interested to see what happens this coming week. And I believe not this week, but next week after that, we do have the Fed decision for interest rate hikes. So, yeah, that's probably the last big news event of the year. Not looking really great on the lower time frames, though. I think the best is kind of looking at that divergence on the daily for if you want to get bull hopium in your blood. But yeah, just wait for price to tell y'all. That's all you got to do, man. We are coming on that longer term moving average that I added recently, so that's interesting. I haven't done a lot of analysis on this one though, so I'm not going to put any weight on that, but it is interesting that it is bouncing off there. All right, let's go to... Oh my gosh, come on. Russell, the Rut. Rut looks absolute garbage. This is the one thing that is concerning me a little bit for any type of bullish positions in the market, is you have a daily closing below all of your previous lows of the last year plus. All right. Not a great sign. There was real good support. Got caught several times right here about 1465, and we just lost it. Now, we are still in the bottom tails here of this price action, so it's not quite death mode yet. But if we do draw, let's see. Oh, it's right on it. So not death mode yet, but really damn close. And I think my buddy was telling me there was a, what was it? CNBC was already talking about, is Trump going to be a president that has to deal with a recession or something? Like, they're just really pumping the fear out there. So, yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I'm just kind of waiting for price to confirm. If we get this shit closed below 1420 on a daily, oh, man. That's going to look real nasty for the markets. Speaking of volatility, like we were just talking about earlier, let's check that out, see what it's doing. Kind of making this weird flag formation, which is odd. Volatility usually doesn't make lots of formations, but I'm not really sure how to extrapolate that. Very weird pattern. But yeah, kind of coming up to this, I guess best thing we could say is there's this range right here. And hey, if we stay in here, trading's really good. You get swings and you get momentum, so it's actually a little bit easier, I think, to reap gains, maybe not keep them if you get greedy. But yeah, kind of weird that we're staying in this box for pretty much since October with no vol crush. Pretty wild. Now the volatility on the VIX though is sub 100, so that is noteworthy. Usually when this is sub 100, volatility will be curbed, and this is volatility on volatility. It's the VIX of the VIX. And that sounds probably redundant and crazy. Like, why the hell would you do that? It actually is a pretty good metric. All right, let's go to oil. Good old crude. You know we got to talk about the crude. So this is trying to base here. And it's doing an okay job. It's doing an okay job. It's not the best. But it definitely is trying. You did get massive, deep RSI here, and we are starting to make, let me go ahead and draw that, some decent divergences here. Very steep though, but you know, considering it started here, I mean, it is just steep, all this price action. But we are getting caught in lots of consolidation ranges right here. I mean, there is lots of business done in the we'll call it like 45 to 55 range. So I am just a little bit long oil unless we break this 50-42 level. Pretty much mid-50, like 50, 50 and 50 cents. If we hold that, I'm going to keep the long on. But, and that's a very risky one too, by the way, that long to play. But I'm aware of that, and I did it on a spread, so my risk is already capped. So if I get if it goes to $10, I'm only gonna, you know, lose a fixed amount of money, so not a huge deal. But this does look to me like it's trying to base. So that's an interesting development on oil, and it rallying too, with like all this production not cutting anything. extra inventories. There was a lot of news that should have pumped it down, and that's why I don't care about news, because look at that. News that everyone would say should pump it down made it go up. So you never know what's going to happen with price. But yeah, so kind of looking for this to break out, obviously, with the long. And I'm only targeting pretty much about this purple exponential, and if I get lucky, you know, this trend line here. But that, I would consider myself very lucky if I got that. All right, let's go look at something that has been doing pretty well. Gold finally broke out of this range here. This was not a double top. I saw a couple people talking about this being a double top. No. And they talked about it here when price was clearly above this range. Maybe here, I don't know. I don't really like double tops and double bottoms. It's one of my least favorite formations. But yeah, you can see gold finally is getting bid, which oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to remove the stupid line. There we go. Which is finally getting bid, which took a lot longer than than expected. You know, I guess the dollar's going down. The fear, like with the fear, I guess, relative to the fear in the markets and all this crazy volatility and stuff. You know, gold was mostly just kind of chilling and not participating. It does seem, though, that it is trying to break out. It is coming up on the really long-term exponentials here. Man, if this gets above 1265, I mean, we're probably going to make runs for 1300. So that's interesting. I have been long via GDX for a little while, which we've talked about, these weird double head and shoulders patterns right here, inverted head and shoulder patterns right here. And yeah, this one's kind of ugly. This one's a little bit more pronounced right there. And so we are kind of getting, you know, kind of a technical breakout from this headline, which the target puts us right here. If you want to see me draw it, I just did this yesterday. Target puts us right there to that exponential. So that looks like a pretty likely spot for GDX to run to, especially closing this daily above the 144 exponential and getting into the power zone here. Great sign. Yeah, so kind of just targeting that. I'll probably take that long off when we hit the red exponential here, which is about $21. Yeah, but pretty wild double inverted kind of head and shoulders. Don't see that very often. So that's the GDX. That is the gold miner ETF, if you didn't know. All right, let's see, where am I at? Oh yeah, I need to wrap this up. Final thoughts with the BTC. Let's go to futures real quick. Oh yeah, look at that. Most volume in futures all in this sell-off. Is institutional money loading up here? They very well could be. But nobody knows. All right, here we go. Bitcoin, final thoughts. Same shit, different day. It's down. No, I'm just kidding. It's just gonna be down forever, bro. Definitely not the case. It's just like saying it can't go lower, bro, because the RSI is oversold. You don't want to get trapped in that mindset. Let price direct you. It is giving you hints on what you need to do. All right, so here's a big support zone. We better not get outside of the bottom of this box. I do think we'll be getting into it, but getting outside of it is going to be real nasty. And this is a lot of 618s, lots of volume profile. Box is drawn from lots of technical areas. I didn't just throw it up there just because I like it to be green in that spot. But yeah, let's go zoom in a little bit. Yeah, here we are. Bitcoin's trying to defend this hourly, which, god dang, I've been rambling for 40 minutes since the early part of this move. Yeah, if this hourly can kind of get caught here, that's okay. But ultimately, this is negative price action for sure. You can even put a little wick, or I'm sorry, yeah, a wick trend line here that we're getting rejected on. But yeah, staying below like all this area, and ultimately you want to, like, horizontals sometimes are better than diagonals. Actually, they pretty much always are. So, you know, kind of horizontal here at 3,500, staying below 34, 3,500. It's super bearish. And you're probably like, duh, dude, it has to go above that. Well, you could, but, you know, there is certain technical levels that do matter. And ultimately below 36, obviously, will be your hardcore resistance. And if we keep going sideways like this, you know, we could get some energy, bring this moving average down, and pump right up to it. But the way this hourly is kind of presenting itself, I don't know. I'm not really liking that price action too much. I'm gonna move my alert down just slightly to about 300 even. I'm sorry, 3,000 even. Holy shit! If we were at 300, there would definitely be nobody watching this stream. Oh, did I just be retarded and put it at 3,000? I sure did. Alright, let's try that again. I'll be able to get it right. I promise. 3,300. There we go. That's what I meant to do. So 3,300 will be right around here. Breaking below this on an hourly close, and definitely on a 4-hour close, is going to be a nail in the coffin short term for BTC. This is not healthy price action, guys. It really isn't. And we need more. We just need a little bit more. We're close. We're definitely close. I think we're within 3 months of making that capitulation bottom. And it very well likely could happen by January. You know, everyone wants to compare 14 because, I mean, really that's like the only bear market we had. And, I mean, 11 was pretty gnarly too, but there wasn't really any data for it. But yeah, if we go back over here to the 14 action, yeah, you can see that Christmas time did not help you. I guess it did go sideways, but right after that, out the gate, murder fest. Maybe we see something similar. I don't know. We kind of are seeing this type of pattern of false breakouts above, you know, some of these major exponentials to go down. But, you know, we can sit here and mental masturbate about predictions all the time, but they don't mean shit. Just wait for that price to tell you. Price is king. Don't forget that. All right. So resistance around 34.5, and we break that 3,300 level, and ultimately for me 3,200. I'd like this to kind of go up so I can get into some more shorts in this upper range. Not saying I can get it. I might not. If I do, that's what I'm going to do. If not, price keeps going down, breaks below 32, I will be adding shorts, speculative shorts, if that does happen. So, again, nothing out of the woodworks yet. Until, I mean, really, if you want to think about this hardcore, or not hardcore, I'm sorry, simply, if we can't close at least 3 or 4 4-hour candles above the 55 exponential, don't even think about being bullish, period. Don't overthink this shit. Don't go chase around Twitter. Seeing my friends chasing around Twitter looking for people that are perma bulls and posting all these charts. You can make a chart and draw whatever you want on there to make it bullish or bearish or whatever the hell you want. Don't do that. You're trying to justify your biases. That's not going to help you make money. Just wait for the damn price to tell you. And that's why I'm not initiating new trades right here. I'm waiting for price to tell me if it's going to continue or if we're going to have a little relief bounce. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It's been a pleasure. If y'all liked the video or got any value, please sub, bell, and smash on that thumbs up button. Well, it's been great. I'm going to go hang out with the fam and then go to work. This has been No Noise. And I am Z-Rex signing off on this December 8th of 2018. Y'all take care. Happy trading. Much love. Peace.